Christian for oldermuscles.com, here to talk to you about these Veggie Craft spaghetti noodles. One of my favorite foods is spaghetti, and I've been on a calorie deficit diet for over 2.5 months now, and I have not eaten spaghetti during that whole time until last night. It's not necessarily that spaghetti is bad for people per se. It does have a lot of calories in it. And when it comes to eating foods and you're on a calorie deficit diet, every calorie matters, and so I always try to reduce the amount of calories that are in things while also trying to boost protein. When I went to Winco Foods yesterday, I did a side-by-side packaging analysis of every kind of spaghetti noodle that they had there. These ones back here are the ones that my family usually goes with, and when I was looking at all the nutritional labeling, these ones had the most protein in them. I'll throw on the screen right now what they look like. They're a little bit more red than the average spaghetti noodle. As far as just visual appeal, that's about the only difference. And getting back to the packaging, we'll just take a quick gander. As it shows right there, veggies in every bite, and that is because these are not made with the usual noodle ingredients. They're made out of peas, lentils, and cauliflower. Now, one thing that I'll say, it isn't directly misleading, but something for folks to note: when it says that there's 8 grams of dietary fiber and 24 grams of protein, that's per 100 gram servings. Flip this over here. You can see on the back that an actual serving is 2 ounces. So they play a little bit of trickery on you on the front part of this box. A serving's 200 calories, and then 100 grams is actually 360 calories. So just be mindful of that when you're preparing them. Not a lot of fat, quite a bit of dietary fiber, and this is the most protein for spaghetti noodles that I found. There were ones that were whole wheat. There were ones that were just straight made out of chickpeas. These ones right here, as you can see, are made out of pea flour, lentil flour, and cauliflower flour. I'll give you a little visual for the rest of the packaging. So as far as how these taste, like I said, I made them last night with some 93% lean ground beef, some Classico spaghetti sauce. As far as just straight taste, they didn't taste really different than any other noodles. Of course, they're saturated with spaghetti sauce and lean ground beef. But if I were to close my eyes and eat them, didn't really taste any different than any other noodle. They boiled the same as other noodles, and I did the old trick where you grab one of them and throw it up against the wall to see if it sticks, and it stuck. But I'll also say that when I put them, in a big bowl, the noodles all stuck to each other too. They're particularly sticky compared to regular noodles, if you want to call those that. And that ultimately didn't really affect the taste. The only thing is, if you're like a spaghetti noodle slurper, the stickiness factor makes them a little bit trickier to slurp up. One thing to note, and I have not done it so far today, there were leftovers. One of these contains 4 servings, and I put 1 pound of lean ground beef in with my sauce, which was also broken out into 4 servings. So I got 3 servings left. I'm going to reheat those today and in the coming days. Try to eat 1 serving a day of these till they're gone. And my wife noted that because they're gluten-free noodle and they're made out of these things, it may affect the reheat factor. Like I said, I haven't done it yet, so I don't know for sure, but that's one thing to be mindful of. I always make huge batches of spaghetti for the family, partly because we like to eat a lot of spaghetti the day of, and we also like to have spaghetti leftovers. If I get around to eating some leftovers today, I'll make sure to put in the comments how that all worked out for me. But for now, at least the initial day of Veggie Craft spaghetti noodles, I'm a fan, and I'm going to incorporate them into my nutritional strategies going forward. Feel free to check them out if you're into that sort of thing.